This is how you can turn $10,000 into over $1 million very easily with crypto. Okay. You bought a Bitcoin for $10,000. Let's say last year. Now the price, we don't think it'll go back to 10,000, but you use this as an example. $10,000, you bought one Bitcoin back in, let's say, September of last year or October, whenever it hit 10,000. One Bitcoin, $10,000. You ride that all the way to the top where we believe it's going to hit $100,000. When Bitcoin hits $100,000, you sell your Bitcoin. You now have $100,000 sitting in your bank or sitting in a stable coin. The price of Bitcoin retraces. Let's just say it retraces 80%. On average, it retraces 85%. But let's just say 80 this time. So it goes from 100,000 back down to 20,000. You've got money sitting in stable coins. You're now able to afford 5 Bitcoin, okay? Instead of 1, you now have 5, okay? We believe during the next cycle, there is a huge chance that Bitcoin goes up to $250,000. That would be extreme diminished returns from the last several cycles. But I think we can safely say $250,000 for the next cycle is very achievable. You turn $10,000 into $1.25 million just by that strategy. Meanwhile, if you held and you just held that one Bitcoin, you're looking at, if it drops back down to $20,000, having $20,000. And if it goes up to, $250K, you have $250,000. That's a great return. But you could have 5 times more than that. And we see these opportunities in several coins. It's not just Bitcoin. That's a real easy, tangible one for people to understand. But these opportunities exist everywhere. You have to be willing, in my opinion, to sell tops and buy bottoms. And somebody told me, they said, I'm just a hodler. I just don't really know how to time the market. You only have to time it twice every 4 years. That's it. Just time approximately within a couple months of the top and within a couple months of the bottom. And we have a lot of history to suggest when those times will be. And you're going to accumulate way more. We're never selling out of crypto to get out of crypto. We're only selling out of positions to accumulate much more over the long term. It's not like you just say, I'm going to sell the top and be done with crypto. Why would you do that when this is an emerging market? And so that's something I think some people get confused about. We're going to cash out 80% of our crypto, and we're going to make massive returns when we accumulate more crypto with those numbers. We diversify some of that money here and there, property, buildings, ballparks, stuff like that. But when it comes to our overall crypto strategy, we're only selling to buy more crypto. Yeah, and the reason for that is, at some point in the future, crypto will change and it'll get off of a 4-year cycle. Altcoins will emerge. If you look at Chainlink from the last bear market, it crushed it in the entire bear market and went way up. Like, I don't know, it went up like 100x in the bear market. I don't have that exact number, but something similar to that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be selling 80%. Most of the small projects we're going to sell for sure. But, some of the larger ones, your Cardano's, your Ethereum's, your Bitcoin, we're going to hold on to 20% in case we're wrong. The upside for us to still have 20%, if let's say it were to go to $300,000 or $400,000, or let's say there is no bear market, we still have a significant amount of exposure. And, if you were to ask me like what the chances are that I feel like that there will be a bear market, I would say like 95%. So by holding on to 20%, I think our risk versus reward there is still, still very high. And that way, if we're wrong, or at some points we're wrong on, we still get the remainder of the pump, and things will, continue to go up when we have other things sitting in stable coins. I think hodling is this may sound counterintuitive to what a lot of people are going to tell you, but hodling is not the optimal strategy. It's a lazy strategy. And if you feel like, and this is where the word came from, a guy said, every time I make a trade, I lose. Literally every time I sell at the wrong time. But at that time, there were not educational resources available to everyone. And on top of that, we didn't have content creators out there everywhere giving this message. And you didn't understand, you didn't have the history of 3 to 4 more cycles to go off of. You just had one. We've got so much more at our disposal now. In my opinion, there's no excuse for anyone not to be able to sell near the top of the market. It doesn't have to be the exact day, dollar cost average out, but there's no excuse for it.